OK, well, here we are at the end of my first week in charge of the Wogan show. The responsibility is really getting to me, I don't mind telling you. I'm sure at the beginning of the week I had a full strand of hair. Somehow, I don't really feel in charge. I still expect Terry Wogan to leap out from behind a cupboard and tell me what to do. I understand John Major has the same feeling in Downing Street. But, of course, there is an enormous difference between me and Terry Wogan. About £300,000 a year, according to my agent. Mind you, apparently my being here has made an enormous difference to the viewing figures. In fact, I had a personal letter of thanks from the head of ITV. Oh, and I've had a postcard, in fact, from Terry Wogan himself. It says here, weather lousy, food terrible. Oh, I see. Oh, he's still stuck at Heathrow Airport. Anyway, no one else seems to be there. Nobody's flying into England at all at the moment. The theatres are empty. The ticket touts are having to watch the plays themselves just to pass the time. Anyway, joking aside, there's this Englishman, Irishwoman, and a Scotsman. And that's just the guests on tonight's show. Two of my guests have Oscars on their sideboards, and the other one has got a bowl of fruit. Me, I haven't even got a sideboard. Later on, we'll be meeting Brenda Fricker, Nurse Megan on Casualty, and cornerstone of the Irish film industry, and actor and international superstar Sean Connery. But first, a man whose middle name is Showbiz, which must have caused quite a stir at his christening. He sings, he dances, he tells jokes. He's the Variety Club of Great Britain rolled into one. Please welcome Bruce Forsyth.
Not bad for such a cold night.
Not bad,
no.
Good. I think you attracted them in.
Sit down, sit down.
You're working on a new catchphrase there. Sit down, sit down.
Oh, no. I let catchphrases happen.
Yeah.
I never force them.
Yes.
Do I? I never force you.
Force you?
Force you? No.
But you are a real king of the catchphrases, aren't you? Nice to see you nice.
Oh, I've had quite a few.
I'm in charge.
All right, my loves, good game, good game.
Yeah.
Oh,
give us a
I've
12.
had so many. Give us a 12.
Mind the doors? That was one of yours, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Mind the Doors. And I didn't like the bowl of fruit gag either.
Well, it might be you with your fruit. Haven't you got a bowl
Don't you think I'm looking well, though?
You're looking very well,
Don't you think I'm looking well?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that a catchphrase you're developing in your later years?
It was going to be your first question.
Was it?
Aren't you looking well, Bruce? I thought you were going to say. And I was going to say, yes, I'm just back from the Caribbean. No, I love going there in the winter, actually, to my wife's island. Well, she doesn't own it personally, but it's her island, and I go there. And when
which island is that?
It's Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
They say Puerto Rico.
Yes.
You must say Puerto Rico when you're there. And are you from the press? Get out. Sorry.
These are cameramen.
No, but he's got a real camera there. Don't you know the difference?
No, I haven't been.
How long have you been in the business?
Well, five minutes compared to you.
No, but when we go to Puerto Rico with my lovely darling, we also go to some of the other islands. And I went to Saint Martin, which is an island that is half Dutch and half French. And it was
like Belgium.
Sort of.
Yeah, sounds great.
You're right, actually, no. Yeah. And we arrived there, and it's only a little airport, and they've got their own sort of little customs place, but it looks you think, oh, get through here a doddle, you see. And I was walking through, with my Panama hat down here, closely by my side, and there was this big black guy, he must have been about 6'5", a massive fella. And he had his eyes on me, and I tried to avert my eyes, and as I got nearer, he sort of was moving nearer to me, and I tried to get round him, but I couldn't. And all of a sudden, I'm face to face with this guy. Looked up at him, he looked down at me, went, "Nice to see you, to see you." Give me some of that.
Yeah.
Scared the life out of me, yes. But you see, that was going to be our opening joke.
Was it? Right. I wish we'd agreed to all this, but what I was going to ask you about is the fact that, and I don't mean this rudely in any way, but...
No, I know you.
To somebody of my fairly advanced age, you have, always been on the television. There's never been a time in my memory there hasn't been Bruce Forsyth doing Sunday night at the London Palladium.
Well, it does depend how old you are.
Yes, well...
But, no, I've been on television now since 90... it's like full-time television. When I talk about series, I did a few odd shots before that, but 1958 was the London Palladium, so you can talk that back. Well, it's 33 years. 33 years. Yeah. It's a long time.
Well, I think we've got a clip of one of your earlier performances. No. Yes, you must be.
You're not going to do that to me.
I'm afraid so. There we are. Yes, you. Look.
I'm going to write here 35. You see? Now, I want you to write underneath 34, 32, 33, 31. 32, 31, 30. You see, just 34, 33, 32, 1. As quick as you can. 33, 32, 31. Fine. Now, I'm going to put 30 there. Now, you see, you've got 30 seconds on the clock. I want you to write under there 29, 28, 29, the same, 19, all the way down here, you see. So as you finish up with a naught. OK? That's quite clear to you, isn't it? You have 30 seconds then to beat the clock and take your time, because I want a breather. Starting... I've got enough trouble tonight without you.
What I love about any game show, and I've never seen that clip.
Haven't you?
I don't know where you got it from. Must have been in Lou Grade's bathroom. But
it's a great game, that. You have to write down the
Yeah, right. It was something dramatic, wasn't it? But you see, there's always the unexpected.
Yeah.
You see, the unexpected, the way she was going on. I was looking at the audience, and she was carrying on there writing, and I didn't even know.
I'm sure we broke it off there, because I want to know if she made it or not.
Well, I think she did.
Yeah.
I think she did. Because I always used to cheat. I used to cheat like mad in that show. Yeah. I'd always make sure they won everything, if possible. You know.
Now, as I say, you've been in television for this long time, but did you set out thinking you'd be a TV star, or were you going to be like a comedian on the hall?
Well, I went into the business when I was 14, which is nearly 50 years ago now. So when I went into the business, I was a variety performer, a variety and review, you know, working in reviews and doing sketches and that sort of thing. So
what were you called in those days?
I was called Boy Bruce.
The?
Boy Bruce.
There was a bit more there, wasn't there?
Boy Bruce, I was.
Boy Bruce the...
You want to say the mighty atom.
The mighty atom, yeah.
But I'm not going to say it. No, you were going to say it.
What does that mean, the mighty atom?
Well, it was just because atoms were then the thing of the time.
Yes.
You know, it was before the atom bomb, but they just discovered that an atom could do all these marvellous things.
Yeah.
And I thought of myself as an atom of a performer that could possibly do all these things. I used to play the ukulele banjo, play the accordion, tap dance, and sing and do all these things. So
well, you can still do it. But did you teach all those things yourself, or did you go to school?
I picked them up mostly. I had just a few piano lessons and a few piano accordion lessons. But I got a lot of my other music from when I sort of toured, especially the American-based camps in the war. Because after the show, there'd always be a few of the guys would get together and play, and I'd be intrigued with their kind of music because they just stand there and play. They didn't have music. They just said, oh, what about 3 choruses of It Had to Be You, or whatever they're going to play. And it was a different kind of music. A lot of them, of course, black guys. Yeah. And I was intrigued by that type of thing, and from then on I just did my own thing. Yes. I'd love to have a lot more musical experience. I think it would have been a thing I'd have got more into if I hadn't have gone on the comedy side. Yes. And you're back with the Generation game now. You've done another series of that. Which has been tremendous, the success of that. I think, you know, when James Moyer asked me to bring it back, I had to think about it because it wasn't on my mind. Yeah. But to remember what it was, I suppose. Well, I did remember what it was with great fondness, but I didn't really remember, you know, I didn't think, oh, would it work now? But of course, what we all forgot about were the generations that had never seen it. Yeah. I mean, 2 of my daughters of 13 and 14, Louisa and Charlotte, they'd never seen the show. Yeah. My little boy of 4 and 5, and kids of 4, 5 and 6 love to see it. It's probably one of the few shows that does cater fully for a family audience, and very few shows can say that today. Yes. And I looked at a lot of the old clips and they still made me laugh, and I thought, well, if they make me laugh, I think they'll probably make the public laugh again, and it's been tremendous. But we did forget about those generations that didn't know anything about it. And the great thing you always do is you're always working with like, members of the public, members of the audience. Which I love, because there's always a part of it that you don't know what's going to happen. And I love not knowing what's going to happen to see if I can either get into it more or see how I can get out of it. Because with game shows, I think to be a successful game show host, you've got to like the job. Yeah. When I used to watch Beat the Clock before I got the job, I could always tell the comedians, and they're mostly comedians that did it, I could always tell the ones that liked it and the ones that didn't. Yeah. I mean, for instance, Robert Morley did it once, and he was marvellous.
Robert Morley?
Yeah, Robert Morley did Beat the Clock, and he was sensational because he did it his way, and the way he described the games was marvellous, and he enjoyed it, and I could tell he enjoyed it.
Yeah. And you've got this one-man show you're doing at the Palladium.
Yes, I'm going back to the Palladium on the 4th of March for only a week, 6 days I'm going.
I don't think you need to plug it, because I think it's one of the few shows that's actually sold some tickets.
We have sold a few tickets, yes, it's marvellous. Yes.
Yeah.
I've got some more on me. Meet me round the back afterwards, half price. Not you, dear, you're a troublemaker, I can see it.
Now, don't pick on the audience here, because you were sort of always on that dividing line between being, jollying the audience along and being a bit rude to them.
Yes, yes.
Do you think you always keep, away from being truly unpleasant?
Well, I have a yardstick. I'd say today, I'm probably a bit cheekier today than I was 30 years ago with the audience. But I still have my yardstick. And I think a lot of television needs a yardstick at the moment.
What do you think about other comedy stars that do that sort of audience interaction stuff? I mean, Dame Edna's quite rude to guests and to audience and things like that.
Well, on television, I think with guests it's lovely.
Yeah.
As regards his stage show, I don't know what he does because I never managed to go and see it, unfortunately. I wanted to go and see it. But with his guests, I think it's a lovely relationship because they are going on there to be slaughtered by him. They know it, and he knows he's going to slaughter them, so it's lovely. With members of the public, I think, yes, you can go so far, but I don't think you should go a little bit over the top.
Because there's a whole sort of strand of people who do that. I mean, even Julian Clary, I don't know if you'd sort of ever seen him on Channel 4.
No, we've never danced together.
Yeah. Any other shows on television that you'd like to have done? I know you've done the Generation Game.
What, as regards game shows?
Yes. Are there other ones you've not been in?
Oh, yes, I tried to get Family Fortunes.
Yeah.
It was called, what was it called over there? It's called something else.
This is in America, was it?
Yeah, this was in America, and I thought it was a great show for here.
Yeah.
But Bob Monkhouse has just got it.
Yes.
And I just got Play Your Cards Right.
Yeah.
And tried to do a swap with him. But Bob wasn't interested.
No.
And I didn't blame him because I thought that was a better format than Play Your Cards.
You think the format's important?
The format is terribly important. Very important indeed. I always like the format to have room for fun in it.
What about something that goes like really into the personality, like Blind Date? Have you ever thought about doing
I'd
that?
love to, because there again, that was called The Dating Game in America,
Yeah.
and I saw that, 15, 18 years ago in America, and I thought, oh, I'd love to do that in Britain. It's a show I would have loved to have done.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, how could you send people away for weekends like that? You know, what will they get up to? And I thought the British public won't stand for this. All this immorality. Yes.
Well, Cilla Black does it.
Yes,
I mean, she sends them away. I don't know.
Yes, sends them away, but it's done differently in America. They more or less said, well, we've booked you a room at the this beautiful hotel in Mexico City. Go to it, babes. You know, but I couldn't have done that with my image. So,
Your image is more
I
like
missed out there, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry at the time that I didn't think that it could have been done a slightly different way. But then again, when I think of the timing of when I left the Generation Game, which was 13 years ago now, and now it's come back, that was never planned. You can never plan a thing like that. And the way it's worked out, it's wonderful, because that show gives me more room to do my bag of tricks more than anything else. So I'm glad I stopped doing it when I did.
All right, I've got to stop you doing
it
now.
I thought you were getting fidgety.
I was.
I thought, hello, the what's
No,
it's
it's
going
all right.
there. You ever see old Mother Riley? Yeah, she was wonderful, yeah.
It's all right, we've just gone 20 minutes over time.
Oh,
but,
it's all right.
But no, just hang on for a minute. Thank you for the moment,
Cut
Bruce
the film
Forsyth.
stars. Cut the film stars. Cut the film stars. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Now, okay, thank you, Bruce. Well, my next guest is one of the few British actors who outranks and out-box offices most of the film stars in Hollywood. His latest film sees him exploring familiar territory, the East-West divide, but in a rather different way from his days as Agent 007. In fact, before we meet him, let's see just a short scene from this film, The Russia House.
I love my country.
I love it too. Your country. And I'm reasonably fond of my own.
To save it, perhaps it's necessary to betray it. Yes? Because you and I, we love truth.
Who are you, Dante? What do you do for a living?
I am a moral outcast.
Oh, it's always nice to meet a writer. And what sort of rubbish are you turning out now?
Lies. I'm the lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sean Connery. Yes.
Oh! Now the whole world knows.
Yes, you've obviously met before, but...
Well, I knew him as a game hostess.
He's come on since then.
Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen him for a long time.
Now, you come on in the... You fly into the country in the teeth of controversy because it was John Juno writing in the Daily Mail or the Sunday Mail saying that you weren't prepared to fly. Are you aware of that story?
Well, I know. Strangely enough, I was on the aeroplane when I read it. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
I went to the airport in Malaga yesterday morning to get the plane, a private plane coming at 10 o'clock, and it didn't arrive. I didn't get a plane till 3 in the afternoon. And the first thing I read was the Mail on Sunday, and that was John Juno's piece, which, needless to say, is a bit upsetting because he should really get the facts before he makes the announcement.
Oh, come on, he's a journalist. He's got...
I forgot.
Can't wait for the facts.
No, but I saw this. I
Yeah.
saw it in another paper about a week ago, and it said Sean's not coming in because of the war in the Gulf. And I thought that cannot be true because I know him. You know, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, we had arranged to have the premiere, but the problem was that I'm starting a film. In fact, I go tomorrow morning at 6:30 to Madrid and then on to Los Angeles.
Yes.
So there was no way I could be here for the premiere, which I had arranged with Prince Charles's Trust. So, and then in the climate being what it is, the political situation, it was cancelled anyway. But I had said I couldn't be there because I was going to start this film in Veracruz, which I'm doing. But
Yes.
I will come for 2 days and do the publicity for the film.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. But old Charlie Farnsworth, what's his name again?
John Juno.
John Juno.
He's changing his name to Charlie Farnsworth to avoid James Bond, I think.
Anyway, he should know better. He's from Achter Machti, and he's a member of the RNA, so I shall just have to whip his ass the next time I see him.
In the film, you play a sort of fairly drunken publisher who's sort of sucked into the whole spy thing.
Yeah.
How did you find Russia? Because your character in the film rather likes Russia and keeps praising the country and the people. How did you find it?
Yeah, well, I found a lot of things much worse after 25 years because one didn't know what was going on 25 years ago. And it's rather sad and despondent. But I found marvelous cooperation with the Russians we made the film with. In fact, they set up most of the production. It's rather sad the way it's regressing now, but their artistry and everything is unquestioned, and hopefully they'll resolve that, although it doesn't look like it the way it's going at the moment. We had a very, very good time there, work-wise, very, very hard. But what's interesting is in America, the kids of 18 and 20, all, after having seen the film, were of the opinion that they wanted to go to Russia, which is really special because it wasn't sort of heard of before, but the Cold War and all the problems, to hear that people would want to go.
Yes. Well, it looks an interesting
great,
country
eh?
in the film, doesn't it? The only drawback is it's a country where the tube station looks like an art gallery, but you can't buy any shoes because you've got a queue for them.
Well, the tube station is beautiful. I mean, it's as clean as this stage here, this table and everything, with these wonderful artifacts on the wall, mosaics, murals and everything. But the strange feature is there can be 6,000 people, and I mean 6,000 coming up in the escalators and nobody's talking.
That's a bit like here, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a bit of a pause there, wasn't it?
You've done a Russian film, though, haven't you, Bruce? Do you remember that? We've got lots of old clips of you.
Well, this was the thing that Sean doesn't know about this. I never told him about this because he never would have believed it. But about 6 or 8 years ago, I was doing Play Your Cards Right, and an impresario was supposed to play this. It was the life story of Pavlova.
Yes.
You know, the Russian...
Pavlova?
No, I didn't play Pavlova. He's so nasty to me. And this
You're such a good dancer.
Yeah, but we're not dancing tonight. No, you've kissed me once. Twice. Kiss me once, kiss me twice, kiss me once.
We're going to show you, however much you faff about this, we're going to show a clip of this Pavlova film.
Yeah, show it me.
Madame, I wasn't expecting you. What a lovely surprise. Can you see how happy I am? As indeed is the whole of London. Just look at this, Madame. The press is in ecstasy. In every single paper.
I've come to say I wish to sign a 2-year contract with you.
2 years? 2 years at my theatre? Oh, I'll redecorate your dressing room. I'll make you feel so at home. Oh, Madame, you make me so very happy.
Mr. Butt, I want an advance on the contract. I need to have the whole sum now, made out in a banker's order payable in St. Petersburg.
Ah, of course. You can have your money anywhere you like. Anywhere. I'll even bury it for you if you like.
Not bad. What a prize gift. But what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted, I'll give it one a minute. No, was that I had to do that all ad lib. He didn't like the lines that were written. Yeah. I had to ad lib the whole scene the way Sean does all his movies. Yeah. It's all ad lib.
But what was she doing? She wasn't ad libbing, was she?
She did. Oh, I did. I went on and on for about 5 minutes doing all this, blah, 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 and she just looked at me and she said, "Nyet." That's all she said, was "nyet."
And were they overdubbed with some English?
And then they did all that afterwards. What I mean is, I went rabbited on there for about 6 or 7 minutes, ad-libbing the whole scene. Then they did her afterwards.
We can imagine.
Trying to say what I went through.
Yeah. Do you think he's got a career?
Oh, it's difficult being an actor.
Yeah. Do you think Bruce has got a? Do you think Bruce has got a career in film acting that he's not really pursued?
Well, whatever he had, I think he's in jeopardy.
You've got a great co-star in The Russia House, because you've got Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, lovely.
Listen to Pavlova.
Was she easier to work with than I don't know who your co-star was. Easier to work with than Bruce Forsyth, isn't it?
Oh, you made him laugh. Good for you. I've done that.
Takes a bit.
No, was she easier?
Yeah.
Well, certainly on the eyes.
Yeah.
She was very nice. She's very professional, very nice.
Yeah.
And I think she does a remarkable job. Also, she learned to speak Russian fluently.
Yes. She doesn't speak Russian in the film, though.
Yes, she does.
Really?
And there was
a couple of bits.
Yes, but there's a whole sequence in that they didn't use where she was talking to the children. She learned it all in Russian.
Oh, right.
Really remarkable.
Well, there's a good romantic sort of story between you and Michelle. I don't know if we've got a little clip of you acting with Michelle Pfeiffer.
The Germans were 4 kilometers from Leningrad on the south side. You can still see the marks of the machine gun fire in the old buildings in the outskirts.
I love you. All my failings were preparations for meeting you.
The city refused to accept defeat. Shostakovich still composed his music.
It's like nothing I've ever known. It's unselfish love, grown-up love. You know it is.
Barley, please.
It's mature, absolute, thrilling love.
You have bewitched my family. My children think all you British are now Santa Claus in beautiful tweed clothes.
There's no Santa Claus. Nobody is what he seems, except you.
Why do you want to take away my rights? Go and sit down.
There you go.
Very lovely.
Mind you, I was much younger then.
Much younger then, yes. I didn't know you could be so tender. That was really, that was really a lovely scene.
But
what was the thing about the failings? Your failings? My failings, what? Must use that one, my failings.
My feelings are all preparation for meeting you.
Oh, my failings are all preparation. I'll use that when I get home tonight.
Bruce, we've seen you acting in a film there, but we thought we might return you to perhaps more familiar country. And to maintain this romantic mood, we thought you were going to do a bit of singing for us. and at the piano. Have you
Well,
come prepared with
only
that?
if you can strap Sean into his seat. Mind you, he likes jazz.
Yes.
And Harry Stone's got a great group, and he really does like jazz.
Well,
So,
we've got this
a bit of
piano here,
jazz?
and I know I'm not going to play it, so...
A bit of jazz, Harry? Anything you like. Whatever you want to do.
Bruce Forsyth.
Yeah.
There may be many other nights like this, and I'll be standing here with someone new. There may be other songs to sing, another fall, another spring. There will never be another you. Maybe other lips that I may kiss, they won't thrill me like yours used to do. I may dream a million dreams, how can they come true if there will ever be another you? Come true if there will never be. There will never be. There will never be another you. There will never be another you. Oh, thank you, Harry. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Well, he obviously comes...
Here he loves jazz.
Yes, well, you play a bit of music in the film, don't you? You play clarinet and all sorts of stuff.
No, soprano sax.
Yeah, sorry, saxophone. Did you actually play that, or was that
No,
part of the
I
artifice?
just sheer acting. No, I don't play it, no.
There's a bit of loo paper and comb you play as well.
Yeah, that's right.
did
I'm
you
good
play
at that, actually. That's
Yeah.
just about my speed, actually. That and singing.
Now, I know you two know each other because you play golf together. There's a thing that's always fascinated me. Why do all people in show business, comedians, films, they all seem to play golf? Do professional golfers get together and make little home videos for each other and tell jokes? Can you explain the fascination of golf?
Well, I think it's such a selfish game that it attracts most people who are in a kind of selfish profession.
Yeah.
You know, they're very much tied up with themselves, and it's a great kind of leveler. No matter how successful you've been or how well it's gone, you've only got to get out on the golf course, eh?
Well, I'm told we've got a bit of levelling footage here of you two playing golf together. I haven't seen it myself, but here's a bit. Let's have a look at it.
Oh.
This for a 4 net 3 for Bruce.
It's not a bad roll. It's not a bad roll.
Just didn't turn.
Wasn't bad, actually.
Good try.
Had chances. Yes, that's fine. Thank you, Johnny.
See all that lovely rhythm and balance. Oh, the back's gone. Oh, my God. Now Sean with 2 putts for the match. Don't do anything foolish. 2 for it. Oh, tapped it beautifully. In it goes. He only needed 1 putt. That's a 4, net 3. A great finish for Sean.
Oh, great moments in sport there. Well done. Well, thank you. Thank you for the moment, Sean Connery and Bruce Forsyth. Now, Now, my next guest, who I'm praying is not a golfer, won an Oscar for her part in My Left Foot and is now appearing in another, and for all I know, the only other Irish film, which is called The Field. Television viewers probably know her best as Nurse Megan Roach in Casualty. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Brenda Fricker.
Nice to meet you too.
Isn't that terrible? The women come on straight past me to Sean Connery.
No, I didn't. I shook your hand. You didn't offer me a kiss. What could I do?
I'm not pushing like that. But it was a great thing last year, you winning the Oscar, and then you had to come back and be in Casualty still.
That was great too.
They must have promoted you to matron straight away.
No, they didn't. No, I'm still at the bottom of the totem pole. No,
yeah.
It was actually quite, I think, a happy accident because the whole thing of like winning an Oscar certainly was really kind of, you were on cloud nine and all these strange offers coming in, and I think you can make the wrong decision if you're in that mood. So it was quite good to have to be away from it for a year.
Yes.
So I'm extremely objective about the whole thing.
So you did another series of Casualty, but the way it's
and
left,
I went to Australia for 4 months.
Yes.
So I've got lots of time to recover from.
But it looks as though you're out of Casualty now. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. Well, 5 years, long enough.
Yeah.
I would have left anyway.
Yeah. Were they all pleased there when you came back and had the Oscar?
Some of them were pleased. Yes.
What is the Oscar? The actual thing is it quite a big item?
Actually, did you ever weigh yours? My father weighs 8 pounds.
Oh, I thought you said wear it.
Well, no.
Was to impress the girls.
No, yes, weigh it.
Well, down the swimming trunks, you mean?
That's what I thought you meant. I'm sorry.
No.
No, I didn't, but it is quite heavy.
Because they all want that photograph.
Yeah,
I mean, the next morning, your shoulders kind of swollen and blue.
Right,
Well, not for you, because you're a strong, wonderful mum. I mean, it was tough for me to do that.
Yeah.
8 pounds.
And it's a valuable item. Do you have to sort of
Not
look
at
after
all.
it?
No, I know, I keep losing it. I lost it I left it in a taxi. I left it in the ladies' toilet. I left it in a restaurant. I got it back all 3 times. So my agent has taken it off now. It's safely in America.
Yeah.
In a safe place in America.
Because you've got one. You do look after yours? Have you still got it?
What are we talking about now?
It's the Oscar. It's the Oscar down your trousers. Yes.
Yeah, I've still got mine. Have you got yours? Here, don't get like that. What time? It's an early night. No, yes, I've got mine. I have it in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, that's near enough to down your trousers.
Do you ever think there are too many of these awards, you know, with actors and film directors? I suppose until you get one.
Well, I don't know. 1 in 30 years, I think that's quite good, actually.
Because you've got lots of awards as well, haven't you, Bruce? I'll leave you out of this. I don't think you've got...
TV Times Awards and Variety Club Awards. But now I've just found out, Clive, why you asked me on the show with these 2 other Oscar winners.
Yeah.
Because I have my bucket and spade Oscar.
Oh, you've come prepared.
No. So this is 1956. I won this, the bucket and spade Oscar for the best performer in concert party all round the coast of Great Britain.
Yeah.
That is it.
Oh, well
done. So now I know why you invited me.
That's a genuine covered...
Bring yours, we can have a picture
you should
taken
show
with
that.
Yeah, but it's real. That is real.
Yeah.
That means as much to me as your one.
What's on it?
Especially down your trousers.
Oh, I don't know. That's...
That
wouldn't fit down the trousers. I'm going to put that out of the way so we don't play with all the rest of these.
No, jelly babies.
But you've got a real award, the Oscar.
Yes,
Did you get lots of film offers? You mentioned you had to
yes.
sort of put them to one side, but are you pursuing those?
Yeah, it works very differently in America. I mean, unless you're a mega star like this man, you know. I was never heard of in America until like a year ago. So the way it kind of works there, that they kind of, you go over and you talk about, like, there's 5 films at the moment they're talking about and discussing. And I think the way it goes there is that you have to show that you really want to do the part, and then they make the offer. That's the way I think it seems to be working. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, you've done this film, The Field, though.
Yes,
you don't get to speak very much in this
I
film.
don't.
So it's Harpo Marx, really.
It's a wonderful film.
It's a great film,
wonderful
isn't it?
I voted for it, and Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good. It's a strong
wonderful movie.
It's a very, very powerful film. I think we've got a clip of it.
Don't break.
You?
Don't break, Bull.
You're speaking to me.
If you break, Tiger's lost. who look after the land. He's not ready yet. Bull, you're not listening to me.
I'm listening.
Are you hearing me?
I'm here.
Tig is incapable of looking after the land alone.
Will he ever be capable?
If you break, Shamey will have died for nothing.
I told you. If you have to speak of Shamey, just bet you don't speak at all.
That was made on location in Ireland. Did you have a good time making it? What was the weather like?
Well, the Guinness is good. Yeah. It rained. We wanted rain. We got rain. 12 weeks of rain. Yeah. On the side of a cliff. And I've only got one kidney. You want to go to the loo, you have to go down the cliff, get into a car, drive to a hotel, come back, climb back up the cliff. I mean, it was tough. It was tough.
Did you say you've only got one kidney?
Don't go into that. Have you really?
No, honestly.
You never knew that.
How do you feel about that?
This is like a conversation.
Got one kidney, haven't we, darling?
This is like a conversation in a doctor's waiting room.
Exactly.
What have you lost, mate?
What bit have you lost?
I've only got one Oscar.
I've lost my left one.
Really?
Yes. I always tell people, when I've got my swimming costume on, they see this scar, I always say, oh, a shark bit me.
But your film is very much an Irish film. It's quite sort of an Irish film renaissance.
Very much an Irish film. And I'm trying to do... I'm not a method actor at all, but I mean, people keep saying, how do you do the research for a woman who doesn't speak? That was tricky, you know. I didn't do any research.
That's very uncanny.
I talked
You had to lose a bit of weight as well, didn't you?
28 pounds I had to lose, yeah. I had to look as old as Richard Harris, you see, so I had to kind of go...
But the film's all about, like, the battle for land, the love of land.
Yeah, and look at the war at the moment. It's all to do with land and a green field that a man made green by taking the rocks out with his own hands.
Yes.
And walking miles to the beach and carrying seaweed back on his back to fertilise. The law of the land made the field his, even though somebody else kind of owned it.
Somebody else owned it. And
I think it's a tough film, but it's a good film.
It's marvellous.
Yes, I mean, there's some very strong performances in it. The Irish aren't in any way romanticised or anything, are they?
No, not at all.
They come across as quite sort of battling Irish folk.
Not at all, no.
Yeah. And have you got any more plans to make more Irish films, or are we going to go somewhere else?
Just a good script and a good director. I'll go wherever they are, you know. It's,
you mentioned Australia there. Have you made another film in Australia?
I know, I was in Australia for 4 months doing a mini-series.
Yeah.
110, I think of you in Rush, I was envying you. 110 degrees in the bush with 80% humidity, dressed up as a nun. Sometimes you earn your wages, you know.
And what level of weight were you in that? Were you in the lost weight?
I was back on for that. I had to put the 28 pounds back on for that.
Well, they actually said that.
Well, how could you tell if you're a nun anyway?
Well, exactly. I didn't. Well, yes. I remember when what's his name, Robert De Niro put on 4 stones for Raging Bull, and people were saying what a wonderful, isn't he wonderful, and the dedication to his job. I put on weight for a show, and they go, what in the name of God's happened to you? God, you're really overweight. I did it for the job, really. It's all different, isn't it? Dedication.
Do you think getting the Oscar has been a real turning point in your career? Is that really shoot you to...
Well, I don't. I mean, it was a total shock to me, and I think the only way you can describe it is that you jumped the queue, which is slightly immoral as well. You know, people who never heard of me, as I said, like a year ago, are now phoning you up to go out. And people like Steven Spielberg are saying, come out and meet me and let's talk about a movie.
I can't go, what? He's always phoning me up. I said, come on, Steven, you know, I've got...
Well, you're used to all this, I mean, you know, I'm not.
Not at all. But I mean, you do need that sort of lucky break, don't you, in a show business career?
I mean, luck has an awful lot to do with it, yeah.
Would you agree? Was it a sort of turning point in your career, Sean?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I didn't... It came in a time when one was in a cycle of doing... I did 4 films more or less back to back, and I think timing and luck has as much to do with events as anything.
Oh, Bruce, obviously this was a turning point in your career, getting this...
It was. No, I did. I thought that was it. But then 1958 came along on the Palladium, and everything's been since then. Yeah. But it is, no matter what side of our business you're in, films or anything, I think their main problem, being an actor and actress, is getting a script and saying, yeah, this is good.
If you'd just been given the part of James Bond a few years ago, I think that would have really made your career go off into a completely different direction.
Yeah, and I can see him doing the Generation Game now.
Yeah.
Very good too, good ad-lib brain, you see.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Brenda Fricker, Sean Connery and Bruce Forsyth.
Thank you very much.
Next week, my guests will include Sacha Distel and Bernard Manning, which should cover everyone's idea of a sex object. Until next Monday, from me, Clive Anderson, good night. Good night.